Hey guys, I'm back after having a little bit of a hiatus there. I hadn't made a video in several months, I think, spring break or something like that. Today I'm going to talk about program etiquette and good program habits. Um, this was brought forth to me by someone who commented on my videos. It was actually the first person to comment on the videos, and I want to thank them for that. Finally getting some feedback here. And and they were saying, why are you naming all of your variables S and X and Y and Z? And I really only did this for learning purposes, but since we're kind of through the super early beginning stages of programming, we need to get into something that's called self-identifying variables. This technique, I guess you could call it, it's not really a technique, it's just a habit, really, is really important in the real world if you ever plan on actually joining some kind of a computer programming company like Microsoft or even video games or anything. Um, it's important to name your variables something that tells people who are trying to debug your program what each variable does. Because in the real world, you're not going to be the only person programming your code. It's going to be you, and you're collaborating with your coworkers, and they're going to be reading your code as well. And if they can't understand what the heck is going on, you're going to be in big trouble, and you could possibly get fired for it. It's a big problem if you don't, and I've been leading you guys on the wrong path, so I want to set that straight today. Um, just in case you're not understanding what I'm talking about, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're making a program to access your bank account and display your checkings and your savings. So if you're typing double X and double Y, for X being your checkings and Y being your savings, and you might know this and think to yourself and know every time you get to X and Y in this program that you're knowing, okay, X is the checkings, Y is the savings. But let's say that your buddy who's sitting in the next cubicle over wants to, or has been informed and told by your boss or whoever's the head of your project to debug your code just to make sure that you didn't miss anything or to make it faster or whatever. And they get here and they're like, double X, double Y, what? This is not easy for me to understand. Then they have to come to you and ask you what you mean. And my chair just squeaked really bad. It's never done that before. That was scary. Anyways, so they're gonna come to you and ask you what you meant when you said double X and double Y, and you're gonna have to tell them. Your boss is gonna get upset with you, and if you keep doing that, you could possibly get fired, and that's a problem. So the best way to avoid this is just by typing those like 7 extra letters in the word checkings and like 6 extra letters or whatever it is in the word savings every time, just so you can make sure that your buddy over in the next cubicle over knows that when you say checkings, you mean checkings, and when you say savings, you mean savings, and not X and Y. So this is really mostly an important thing to get used to in the business world, I guess, but there are many times when I do this just for myself, and it's really just a good habit to get used to for yourself also, not just so you don't get fired, but just so you can make your life a heck of a lot easier. If you have a really long program that has like 80 different variables and you just use XX and X1, X2, X3, X4 and whatnot all throughout the whole thing, you're going to get so lost. You're going to have to type up a text document just so you can distinguish which variables do what, and this is just a bad thing. So from now on, I'm going to start actually naming my variables something descriptive to say what they do, unless I'm doing like the calc class that I'm going to be making in the future tutorials. Even though I've already made it, I'm going to insert this one as like a C# tutorial 2B or 3B or something like that, just so I can get this out of the way for anyone else who's going to be watching my videos. So that's that. Just make sure you're very concise about what your variables are named, and don't just name them X, Y, and S like I've been doing. And like I said, I'm going to hopefully change my ways after tutorial 13, because I already made that one and I don't really want to redo them all, just so I can fix this. Just remember this from now on. Alright guys? See ya.